So good morning, guys. My name's Tesh. I'm the assistant professor of trumpet at Southern Miss, and I'm actually my second year on the job there. It's good to have some faces in the room. We're going to do a little bit of essentially warming up. I try to avoid the thought of warming up because it seems like a pretty thoughtless activity. I prefer to think of it as just another part of my practice where we're actually working on fundamentals and not just trying to get muscles engaged and ready to go for some sort of a workout. So, I would never claim, and I don't think any teachers would claim, to have original ideas on how to work on fundamentals on the trumpet. This thing has existed for quite a while, and there have been many great pedagogues before me and before any of your teachers. So, what I've actually done at Southern Miss, and I instituted a warm-up session 5 days a week at 7 a.m. for all of my trumpet majors. And admittedly, I wasn't the hero of the crowd for doing that. Just an extra hour earlier, everybody's got to be up, but so be it. It makes everybody get engaged and play some trumpet first thing in the morning. But what I've done is I've incorporated 4 different fundamentals routines over the course of the year. So we do 2 in the fall and 2 different ones in the spring. And so today we're going to do the one that we've been doing this portion of the spring at Southern Miss. So it actually is from Greg Spence's book called Mystery to Mastery. If you don't know that book, I certainly recommend you check it out. He's got a very no-nonsense approach to how the trumpet works, very physics-based, not a lot of not a lot of gobbledygook. It's really straight ahead. Here's how the instrument works. So we're going to do some of that. If I say something that sounds counterintuitive to what you might have learned in your own experience, or that a teacher has told you, that does not mean that they are wrong. It does not mean necessarily that I'm wrong, right? It's just multiple approaches at attacking the same thing. So the first thing I want to do, just because you kind of got to do it, I want everybody to stand up. We're going to breathe a little bit. Not a ton, but I want to make sure we get air moving. I'm not awake enough yet, so I think this will help get that going. You might want to put your horns down. There's a good chance by the end of this little session here, you're going to want to sit down quickly. You might be a little bit on the foggy side when we get done. So I'm sure you've all done some semblance of the breathing gym in your lifetimes. This is a very minimized version of it, just to sort of get air moving. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. But first thing I want you to do is we're going to do four counts in, 4 counts out. Just ride that for a minute, and then we'll change it up. Just taking nice, big, deep breaths, relaxed breaths, filling all the way up over the course of those counts, and like a roller coaster going over the top of the hill, not plateauing and getting full, and then releasing right over the top of the hill. Same thing when you get to the bottom. Nice, smooth transitions, taking the full time to breathe in and out. Okay, here we go. Breathe out all the way. 1, 2, ready. And in. Allow your body to expand. If your shoulders move as a result of that, great. Don't use them to move, okay? 3 in, 3 out. Two and 2. We should hear some air moving now. And 1s. Eighth notes. Take a big breath inside. Sit down for a second. You might be a little bit spinny. I know I am. It's a great substitute for coffee in the morning. It works really, really well, at least for a short period of time. Come on in, guys. We're going to do just a little bit more, but I love to get some air moving first thing in the morning. It's a great way to sort of treat what we do as basically an athletic event that has to take place. It requires a lot of air and a lot of control of that air to do what we do. So one more thing on breathing. Once your fog has lifted, stand back up for me if you would. If you have asthma, please don't participate in the first little bit of this thing. I don't need anybody falling out on the floor on me. Just catch up as we go, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to exhale absolutely every bit out of your lungs. And I want you to keep your hands here, one right above your belly button and one just below that. And I just want you to sort of feel what's going on in your body, to feel sort of the abdominal wall, the stomach muscles here and what they're doing, okay? Everybody breathe all the way out. Go. Keep going, get it all out. Does everybody feel that tension? Okay, relax, take a breath. Don't need anybody falling out on me. All right, now we're going to do the same thing again. And all I want you to do, once you get to that point, I want you to notice that sort of tension in your abdominal wall. And then I just want you to let it go. All right? I don't want you to try to breathe in. I don't want you to do anything crazy. I just want you to let your guts fall forward and relax. I eat a lot of fried chicken and sweet tea and living in Mississippi, so my guts fall particularly forward these days. It's just the nature of my reality. But I want you to give that a shot, okay? So breathe all the air out, and then I just want you to relax and let your guts fall and notice what happens, okay? Breathe out. Go. And let go. Did you notice air going back in your body? All right. So basically, that level that you reach, as soon as you let those guts fall and the air that comes back into your body, that's sort of ground zero for our breathing. It's pretty much a good idea to never go below that point if you can avoid it. All right? Because at that point, you're having to create work. You're having to create abdominal tension in order to get the rest of that air out. You're having to do something extra, rather than just letting your body take care of getting rid of the air. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing one more time. I want you to let go of your guts, let that air come into your body, and then I want you to tank up on top of that and just feel that expansive breath. Feel that amount of air going into your body. Okay? One more time. Breathe out. Go. And release. All right, so that's a pretty expansive breath. We're getting a pile of air into our bodies, and like I say, when you're in the heat of battle playing, and you get to that point where you feel like you've got to do this, your sound is going to sound like this, because you're having to do work to get that air out of your body rather than being able to stay relaxed. So this time, I want you to, on the other end of the spectrum, I want you to fill all the way up to the top, and stop, hold it there, and I want you to feel what's going on in your body. Okay, so take a giant breath. We don't even have to do this thing if you want to, by all means. Take a big breath all the way to the top and hold it. Ready, go. What's the sensation in your body right now? Let go. Your body is dying to get that air out, right? It immediately wants to rest and get back to where it belongs by getting that air out of your body. So that just goes to demonstrate that this thing is much easier than, in one way here is easier than we can often make it. You don't have to work hard to move air. All you have to do is relax and let the air come out of your body. All right, so take the same giant breath this time and just relax and let the air fall out of your lungs. Go. Now, it may feel like that amount of air comes out pretty quickly, but now let's limit the space that air has to travel through. Grab your mouthpieces if you would. And we're not going to buzz. We're just going to blow air down the center of the mouthpiece, not this way, but actually as if you were playing. Just blow air down the center of the mouthpiece. Same big breath, and notice how much air is moving through this thing. Okay, here we go. Nice big breath. you get to that 0 line where you start having to work, stop. Same thing, one more time. Ready? I mean, just listen to the sound of the amount of air moving through those mouthpieces right now. Imagine how loud that will be when that is transferred into vibration on the instrument, right? We never need to work harder than that. Why play any louder than that? Not even we want to hear it. You know what I mean? All right? So now what I want you to do, everybody grab your trumpet, take your main tuning slide out, put it somewhere safe. I love that everybody's move. I just did this at a high school the other day, and I think 3 people in the room just went, no, not going to happen. I swear, I'd never seen anything quite like it. They were welded shut. All right? So now I want you to separate your mouthpiece. Go ahead and take your mouthpiece out. All right? And what I want you to do is I want you to take the same breath. I want to breathe through the mouthpiece the exact same way, and as you're doing it, I want you to just add the lead pipe on. We're just going to connect these 2 pieces together. And I want you to notice what happens. All right, so big breath, breathe through the mouthpiece, add the lead pipe. Ready? Anybody not get a sound initiated there? Pretty interesting, right? What the heck just happened? Any thoughts? Physics just happened. Yeah, physics just happened, right? So I have been a mouthpiece buzzer my entire life, and I still do it sometimes, all right? But I got into this whole Mystery to Mastery book, and then I started watching videos about physics and trumpet physics, and believe me, it's exhilarating stuff. What I found was that just it blew me away because I just buzzed my mouthpiece my whole life. We don't actually have to initiate sound in that way. All right? In fact, the lips are vibrating sympathetically in this closed system that we're working with here. Okay? So all that's happening is the air is getting through the lead pipe. It's exciting the air molecules. The air is returning and causing your lips to vibrate as a result. You're not having to initiate the buzz. Right? You're not having to close your lips down around the airstream or anything else that you might have been told early in life. All you have to do is blow air. All right? The trumpet is easy. We make it very difficult. All right? Do the same thing again. I want you to experience that sensation. And, put it on and off a couple times just to notice you don't have to do anything. Okay? Big breath. So I like to do that, even though I've been doing this routine for quite a while now. I like to do that every single morning to just remind myself and remind my unconscious part of my brain that it really is that easy. All right? Everything else that we do beyond that is just complicating something that's quite easy. Okay? So now we're going to do a few exercises on the lead pipe. Keep your tuning slide out. Get a metronome going here for us. So I do a little more extended version of this in my morning classes at Southern, but we'll get done what we can here. So the first thing we're going to do, metronome didn't come on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to play a major scale down in quarter notes with this tempo, 1 octave down and back up. Okay, whole note at the end, nice and easy, so we can hear that sound. Take 4 beats to breathe. And we're going to do a major arpeggio, down and back up, 4 beats to breathe, and then a smear exercise. I'll demonstrate it so you know what the heck I'm talking about, okay? Breathe. Smear. And what you'll notice is, the last one doesn't have to be in time. What you'll notice is I'm trying to smear down slowly, just a full octave, and then I'm popping instantly back up to where I started. But what I'm trying to avoid doing when I'm doing that is the feel, that sort of kick of air to jump back up that octave. It's much, much simpler than that. I'm trying to minimize the effort. So a good way to test that is to just have a hand on your abdominal muscles to see if you're staying relaxed. But we don't want because inevitably what you're teaching yourself is that you have to do that to play higher. No, you don't. You just have to change the shape of what's going on here. As simple and efficient as we can make it. All right, let's see if we can make that exercise happen together. Turn that up a little bit for us. Here we go. 1, 2, nice big breath. 1, 2. Back up. Four beat breath. Now in half notes, arpeggio. And at your own pace, the smear exercise. Good. This is lovely sound to hear first thing in the morning. I always wonder what people think outside of a room when this is going on. It just sounds like mayhem. Now we're just going to go down a half step. We'll do a couple of these. Actually, let's go down a whole step, make it interesting. All right, here we go. Same thing. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Pleasure. All right, so you can take these down just about as far as you want. I think usually what we do in my morning class at school is we take this down to essentially an octave below where we started, and you try to make a 2-octave leap to get back where you came from. And so on. Back up, arpeggios down, smear exercise back up. And really all this is accomplishing, well, not all it's accomplishing, when you're getting a lot of air moving, because it takes a lot to play down in that register. You're also working on training your ear a little bit, but really we're trying to just teach ourselves that it's not difficult to make range changes on the instrument. Right? It's just a matter of things here adjusting. It's not a matter of force. It's not a matter of increasing some sort of tension and pressure here in order to make that happen. It can actually be very relaxed. Now, admittedly, we're only going down below, far, far below the staff, right? The hope is that this sort of is the baseline that you set for yourself, and then as you transfer into the upper register and move higher and higher, you continue these concepts. You pay attention to these things as you're doing that. And this book gets into some of that. So throw your tuning slides back in for me if you would. All right, and now we'll actually get into all right. You know what? We all know what that pitch sounds like. Let's not even have that on. I'll keep this on now. All right. Uh-oh. Hello? Technical difficulty. Sorry. Uh-oh. All right. Repeat after me. We'll do the technology-free version unless it comes up. All right, so we're going to do some basic lip bends now, right? We're just trying to keep control of our air, keep control of our aperture. All right, so it's going to sound like this. One, two, ready? And then a bend. One, two, ready? And then I do a little modified version. Hey, it's back. I do a little modified version of his exercise here. Get off of my phone. Where's my metronome? Here we go. Basically, we're going to play this written F sharp with the second valve, and all you're going to do is lift the valve and try to maintain the pitch you're already playing. One, two. Nice and easy. Now we're going to stretch this exercise. We can actually do it together because you can see it. We're going to go down to F natural this time. Exactly as written, we'll play the first line with the valves. We'll take a breath, 4 beats, and we'll play the first line again rather with no valves, and then we're going to do the same exercise we just did, the modified sort of version, F natural, F sharp, G, but while all playing in F the whole time. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Breathe, no valves. Now finger in F. We're going to go up F sharp, G, F sharp, back down. All right, but all playing in F. 1, 2. All right, everybody get what we're doing there? I'm not very good at explaining that on the fly here. All right, one more. I'm going to slow this down because it's going to be a little quick. Whoa. All right, so this one's in quarter notes. We're going down to E. Go ahead and plan on 4 beats at the end of the first line down there to catch your breath. We'll do it with no valves, and then we'll do the chromatic exercise. Play the E. We'll do it in quarter notes. Stay on an E, but go up chromatically to G and back down. All right, twice. Here we go. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Two. Two. Ready? All right. And that exercise can go on down a little bit further to E flat once you can make that stretch. The book actually goes down even further below that to D and C sharp. I have just personally not had any success doing that, so I'm not going to do it for you today and demonstrate that lack of success. One thing that's important when you do this, especially when you're doing this on your own, you can pay attention to what the pitch actually sounds like, and you can really pay attention to what the sensations are in your body. But we're really trying our best to stay on that pitch. No matter what happens, all right, it's going to try to rise on you. Keep the pitch down where it belongs. We're really really trying to keep that stable, okay? So let's move on and get into something perhaps a little different, at least in a couple of ways here. Hello. So I'm going to try to burn through this as quickly as possible. There's a lot of text. I don't want to have to deal with that. But essentially the way that this particular routine operates is he builds sort of different steps along the way. So we're going to start with just moving air, just playing a single pitch. Okay, the next step is going to add a lip slur to that. You'll see it up here. It'll be easy enough to follow. Add a lip slur to that. I'm sorry, actually we're going to add the chromatic valve combination to that. Then the next one is just a lip slur added to this. And then we combine those two things. And then we have just articulation on a single pitch. And then we combine all of those elements. All right, so it's just an additive process to sort of build from a foundation of ease. Okay, so something that I have just fallen in love with over the years is I don't like to use metronomes anymore because they're boring. So I use, drums. Yeah. Why isn't it working? After I just had that lead up, nothing happened. And I'm kind of a commercial kind of guy, so I like to listen to rock drums and pop drums and stuff. But there are several great drum machines that you can get. One that I like to use is called Funkbox. It's just a very, very basic drum machine. It's got some really hip, old school drum machine sounds from the 70s and 80s and before. And if you're playing it through good speakers, it actually has some pretty good thud to it, so it's kind of fun. This particular one is called Drum Genius. It's actually just built up of some really great drum loops of all kinds of different things, rock and pop and Latin grooves and world grooves from all over the place. So very, very cool tool to have at your disposal, and it requires you actually thinking perhaps in more of a musical way than simply having bink, bink, bink going on. That doesn't speak music to me. That certainly gets me thinking at least about playing some music, okay? So we're going to try this. I'm going to have a drum groove going, and we'll just see what happens. All right, so nice and simple. 4 whole notes of C. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. Brilliant music, right? It's really great stuff. Now, we're going to begin to complicate the exercise slowly but surely. All right, so we're just adding the chromatic valve combination down and back up. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, easy enough. Now we're going to add a lip slur to that. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place. Here we go. Simple lip slur. 1, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to combine those elements, all right? Eventually. There we go. We're going to combine those elements, right? Exactly the way you've played all these things so far. The same lip slur, same chromatic pattern. 1, 2, 1. Easy enough, right? We're going to add articulation into the mix now. I promise they're all on one page as we go. I won't have to keep doing this. All right, so just on a single pitch, we're just articulating these C's. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. All right, and now the smorgasbord. We're going to combine all of that together. 1, 2, 1. Now we're going to go back to the top of the page here of exercise 5, and I want you to do it double-tongued at this tempo. Da-ka-da-ka-da-ka-da. Okay, 1, 2, 1. Go on to the next one. Same thing, doubles. 2, 1, 2. Easy enough. All right, so let me turn my noise maker off here. Oh, whoa. It won't actually stop. My technology is winning, guys. I apologize. There we go. So one of the things that I like to sort of pause and talk about in my morning classes, and I think it's good to even do that here with you guys, especially with you guys, is talking about why we just did each of those elements. All right? It's very easy for us to work with a teacher, whoever it is, or to get a particular book and just play the exercises on the page because it says so. Why? You know, what's the point of doing that? What's the benefit you're actually getting out of each of those exercises? If you're just playing them because it says so, what's the point, right? That's mechanical thinking. That's robot thinking, right? We have to get a little bit more in depth and decide what the benefit of those exercises is. Maybe you'll find that it doesn't benefit you at all. Then you probably shouldn't do that exercise. You should do something that actually does, okay? So let's talk briefly about each of those elements, all right? So we started with a single long tone on a low C, all right? What are the benefits of playing a low C? Feel free to yell things out loud. Any long tone.
Making sure you're on pitch.
Yeah, making sure you're on pitch. Yeah, what else? Focus on tone, right? Tone production. Absolutely. This is like the most essential thing we do is making a decent sound. All right, if you don't do that, nobody wants to hear it anyways. All right, what else can you get out of playing long tones? Steady stream of air. Any other thoughts? Those are pretty good ones. I think we've covered most of them. In a group setting like this, we can certainly pay attention to how we are playing in tune across an ensemble or across a pile of instruments at this point. All right, we added a lip slur into the equation. What's the benefit of working on lip slurs? Flexibility. What does flexibility mean?
Being able to maneuver around.
Yeah, getting from one pitch to the next with as much ease as possible, okay? Other thoughts to benefits of a lip slur exercise, something that basic? Yeah.
Consistent airflow.
Yeah, consistent airflow, right? So if you're playing that exercise, just mind-numbingly playing it, it's very easy to go. Beautiful sound, right? That's exactly how music's supposed to sound. No, right? You have to play in an informed way. You got to pay attention to what you're trying to do. You're trying to play a beautiful, lyrical lip slur that takes this thing as far out of the equation as possible and sounds like it would if it was being done by the voice. All right? So pay attention to those details when you do these exercises. Even if you're doing some sort of bombastic lip slur exercises that you find in the Charles Collin lip flexibility book or something, don't just do it because it says to, right? Figure out what the point of doing that exercise is. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, all right? You might as well go outside and play in the trees or something, all right? The next thing that was added onto that equation, we had the chromatic fingerings. That one's pretty easy, right? We want to make sure that we're moving air across slurred pitches as the valves are connected, all right? We can focus on sound the same way that we did with the long tone. And when we combine those things, we're trying to just stay out of our way as much as possible and allow those elements to sort of meld together, all right, making beautiful lip slurs that just happen to be moving chromatically, all right? And one thing that I like to focus on when I'm doing an exercise like that is trying to sing a line, all right? Despite the fact that it looks like an exercise, if you treat it like that, you're not getting the benefit. I treat it like a melodic line, and I let my body figure out how to execute it without me giving it cues. I'm not trying to think about placing each note at a special place in time, all right? And I'm not trying to manipulate things here in order to make the pitch shift happen. I don't have time to think about all that. I want to play a beautiful phrase. My body can adjust, okay? One of the best things I ever heard for my teacher Boyd Hood at Southern Cal was that your body's an incredible calibration device. All right? The things that your body can adjust to in an instant are pretty mind-numbing. All right? The best example he ever gave me of this was if you're walking down a flight of stairs and you slip, say you catch the front edge of a step and you start to slip, think about the number of muscles that engage in an instant to keep you from injuring yourself. You don't have time to think about putting this hand back here and keeping your head up and any number of things that happen or words that are spoken as you fall. You don't have time to think about those things. It just happens instantaneously because the cue is don't get hurt. Right? Not thinking about the process, don't get hurt, tells my body exactly what it needs to do. It's the same thing in trumpet playing if we train ourselves that way. Right? I don't think about the details of what I'm doing to manipulate this machine. I don't have time for that. Right? I want to play music. I don't need to think about every activity that's going on as I'm doing it. Right? So as you're doing an exercise like that, you can focus on playing musically and allowing your body to figure it out. And if you miss notes, great. Great. You know, that's part of learning. Right? If you stop because you missed a note, you didn't get enough out of the exercise. All right? You're going back and rebooting, and music doesn't work that way anyways, right? It's linear. We can't stop and fix it. I love missed notes. That means I'm probably trying to do something, right? Otherwise, I've never met a perfect trumpet player in my life. I've never heard a perfect trumpet performance. And even if you think you hit every note right, if you really think about it, you could probably go back and go, yeah, but I didn't quite, All right, so always approaching with music. And then we had the articulation thing. It basically speaks for itself, right? We're making sure that we can articulate, play notes with the same sound, the same articulation across a series of articulated notes. And then we combine all those elements together in a musical concept, okay? So that's really what, to me, any sort of a fundamentals routine is about, is figuring out why I'm doing it, what's the musical goal of doing it, right? And if I can do that, then I will grow as a player. If I just treat it as something that I play by rote because my teacher told me I should do it every day, I should probably reevaluate that, okay? So let's go on. You have a little bit of a page change here. 36. We're going to follow this same series of exercises, but we're going to begin to move up the harmonic series a bit. I told you I like the thing called the funk box, so we'll do some of that as well. It's just too fun. It's got some really weird 80s sounds that they just make my heart smile. Hold on, oh, there we go. All right. That's more my speed. Here we go. Starting at the top. We'll try to burn through these pretty quickly. 1, 2, 1. Okay, were you thinking about what you were doing, or were you just playing what you saw on the page? You all know your chromatic scale. Play it again and think about what you're trying to accomplish as you're playing it. 1, 2, 1. It's actually a different sound in the room immediately. Not because we practiced. You've been playing this for years. All right? You're just thinking. All right? Going on. 1, 2, 1. And let's go ahead and treat that as a lip slur, right? All valves the whole way. And he actually does the full 7, all valve combinations all the way down, even as we get further up, just so that we maintain lip slurs throughout, all right? Let's go on. 1, 2, 1. I lost a few of you. Let's do that again. 2, 1. righty. Now we articulate. And 1, 2, 1, 2, ready? Add it all together. And 1, 2. All right, so now we're going to double tongue these two exercises, but this time I want you to start with a K, KT, kata, 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 ka. Okay, we're just reversing it. 1, 2, 1. Going on. 1, 2, 1, 2. The big question, why? Why on earth am I making you play KT? Thoughts? Crickets in the room. Yes?
Maybe just to strengthen the feet.
Yeah, to strengthen that K sound a little bit, trying to even these things out, right? It's very easy. I always take my cues from drummers when I work on articulation exercises. I've had very good friends that play drums, and they work very hard, very, very hard to make this hand and this hand sound exactly the same. All right? They spend years and years doing it, especially really great rudimental drummers. All right? And so one of the things that they do when they're working on an exercise is they'll reverse the sticking and start with the opposite hand, their weaker hand, to further develop it and not get used to playing things just in a single pattern. All right? I don't want to talk for too terribly long. The concept of articulation is an interesting one, and this might get me into some trouble with teachers in the room, or if it gets back to your teachers, I might get ugly emails. But my whole concept of articulation is that it does not matter what pattern you use. Okay? I don't care if you go ta-ta-ka, ta-ka-ta, ka-ka-ka. I don't care. I don't know as a listener what you're doing. There's no way to know. I can't pay attention to what's going on inside your face. All right? All I care about is that the right number of notes happen in the right amount of time. That's all that matters. All right? And that's the way great drummers think as well, right? They're not, yes, drum lines work on their rudiments and they play really cool stuff where it all looks the same. All right? But you'll find really, really great drummers, they're not thinking about a particular rudiment when they're playing a lick. They're thinking about the rhythm that the rhythm that sounds in the particular drum that they want to hit at that time. They're not thinking about sticking. They're playing in time. All right? So I sort of take this to an extreme. We're going to do this a couple different ways real quick before we move on. I take this to an extreme and I work on drum rudiments with my articulations. All right? So the next one we're going to do, we're going to start at the top line. I want you to go ta-ta-ka-ka, ta-ta-ka-ka, ta-ta-ka-ka-ta. All right? Simple double stroke roll for drummers. All right? See what you get. Let me slow it down a little bit so we can absorb this. Oh, yeah. Here we go. 1, 2, top line. 1, 2. Easy enough? Anybody getting tongue-tied yet? Let's make it interesting. All right? This time, we're going to do a paradiddle. You guys know what a paradiddle is? Ta-ka-ta-ta, ka-ta-ka-ka. All right? 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, if that helps make it any easier for you. All right? This one gets a little more interesting. Here we go. And 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Everybody feel okay with that on a single pitch? Now let's make it interesting. Add the pitches. 1, 2. Focus. 1, 2. wish you guys could see that from my perspective. The number of eyes just looking into your own head, just staring into blank space, like, oh God, what is going on? All right? But what you'll find, you'll never use these combinations in actual playing. Or maybe you will just because it's entertaining. All right? You'll never actually use these when you perform. But what we're doing is we're just developing a skill set, right? We're trying to make the sticking, we're trying to make the articulations, both sides of it, bend to our will, all right? We want to command the machine, not the other way around, all right? So the next time you've got, a 16th note pickup to a run of 16th notes, you can think about it a little differently. Maybe you want to start on a K so that you can play it the way you like. Or maybe you got a leap that you don't want to play a K on the leap, so you got to start on a K so you can play a T on the upper note. If you practice in order to increase the consistency of your articulations, that suddenly becomes really easy. And you can make a musical decision about your articulation rather than being terrified about the music because you have to articulate it. Make sense? All right? So let's go on. Let's get through a couple more of these. I promise I'll shut up. Actually, that's a terrible promise. My wife would tell you I don't know how to do that. All right. Let's get a new groove. Like 9 Inch Nails. You guys know who that is? All right, here we go. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Going on. 2, 1, 2. Let's try that again, shall we? He's subdividing, the drum machine subdividing your 16th notes for you. Pay attention. Don't fall asleep during the long note. Here we go. And 1, 2. 1, 2. Ready? And. All right, add the valves to that. And 1, 2. Ready? Now, there's something very interesting happening in the room right now, is that our volume has increased immensely because suddenly this is a little bit difficult. So rather than relaxing, we're making it harder on ourselves by trying harder, right? Relax, take it easy. You don't have to work hard to go. It's harder to do that, all right? Relax, take it easy. Again, 1, 2, ha! I lied. And 1, 2, ready, and All right, let's go on. It's kind of an easy median tempo if you're struggling to do that when you do these on your own. Slow it down. Always in control. Here we go. 2, single tongue, 1, 2, ready? 2, going on, and 1, 2. Good. Doubles. TK, straight ahead doubles. Here we go. 1, 2. Top line. 1, 2. Ready? And. Don't get bogged down. Don't get bogged down. Hear the rhythm you want to play. Don't think about tonguing. Don't think about the activity. Hear the rhythm. Play with the drums. Here we go. Again. And 1, 2. Taka, 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 taka. Ready? Bravi. Now add the valves. 2. Now 1, 2. Well done. I hope this thing ends on the hour and not 5 minutes ago. Are we, any ideas? Is that, I have no idea. Great. We're going to go right up to the hour if that's okay with you guys. If you have to bail, please bail. But, you know, let's make a little bit more racket. We're going to go up a little higher now. It never gets old. I love this thing. Here we go. Go ahead and play this F sharp, 1, 2, and 3, right? Just maintain that full chromatic series. 1, 2, 1. Oh, I love that parallel motion. That was nice. Here we go. Going on. 1, 2, 1. Going on, 2. Now 1, 2. All right, articulations. Oh, they're all on the same page this time. Beautiful. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready? And. All right, combine it all. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready? All right, KT, both lines. Reverse the double tongue. 1, 2, 1, 2. Add the fingers. 2, 1, 2. Ready? And. Let's try that one again. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So that one sounds like we all could spend a little bit of time working on it, right? I know you're sight reading right now. That's all good. All right. But it's a great exercise. Right? It's a great way to sort of train yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. All right. Let's keep going. How are we doing on time? Well, we got a couple more of these. Let's go. 100 it says. We're not doing that. Just terrible sounds. Everything had these in it. It was amazing. That's just too fun not to use. Here we go. And 1, 2, and 1, 2. Ready? Beautiful. Going on. 1, 2. Ready? Add the valves. 2, 1, 2. Did you guys hear the volume increase? Take it easy. Take it easy. One more time. 1, 2. Relax. 1, 2. That's the idea. Good. You know what's coming next. And 1, 2. 1, 2. Add the valves. 2, and 1, and 2, and. Double tongue, double tongue. both lines. And 1, 2, and 1, 2. Going on, 2, and 1, and 2, and. Beautiful. And these exercises continue on. There's one more with the harmonic series like this, and then a break, and then things begin to ascend further and further up. So you start from this sort of ground zero and slowly build, always trying to keep that idea of relaxed playing going on, trying to make it as easy as possible, right? This thing is not complicated. We make it that way, but it's really not. It's a piece of tube, a whole bunch of pieces of tube with some valves, all right? It's just a machine. We need to learn how to operate it in an efficient way, all right? Yeah, and then these exercises, I highly recommend you look at this book. It's a little pricey. It's an ebook. I think he sends you a printed copy of as well. But it's just full of fantastic stuff to really work on the entire range of the instrument in an easy way. And you can build your tempos up from where you are now. If you have to go backwards a little bit to get control, great. And you can build your tempos up and really learn how to control this machine at high speed. I mean, really, when I started doing this, I actually, the first time I played this was in my mother's parking garage at my mother's apartment complex in Chicago last Christmas, because that was the only place I could play and not upset a whole lot of people in her apartment building, right? But I was doing this and I was trying to double tongue through this stuff, and I felt just so tongue-tied. It was brutal. It was really, really brutal and frustrating. And as I've been doing them, I've learned to really relax into playing these exercises. And what you'll find is if you can get out of your way, speed is actually really, really easy. You can get these things to kind of stupid speed, right? And you could just go and relax and take it easy. And you're not on a note hunting mission at that speed, right? You don't have time to think about the details. You're thinking about you're thinking about the line, this crazy angular musical line. But you can focus on that thing, right? It's very cool to do. So unfortunately, I believe our time has run its course. For those that have to compete the rest of the weekend, the best of luck to you. If you're competing today, you might need a little bit more face time than what we got there. We only covered a third or 2/3 of the range that you probably got to cover. So thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.